seeing some of that wrecking ball we spoke about earlier.
All right. Well, thank you, Naori. We're gonna get in game here, Kenobi. Let's get this started, shall we?
Yes, we're going to Busan, and I can't see the team compositions yet, but what I'm seeing right now is I am seeing the 3-2-1 coming out from Lucky Future. They're actually going to be opting for the this Moira here for Since, which I think that they are doing this because of the fact that, you know, 666 Legends playing this DPS heavy composition. You have some heal for yourself. You have a lot of good healing with that Fade and those orbs that you can throw out. So I think for Lucky Future, this is a nice play.
Exactly. Well, they got to watch out for Rachel still because he's just kind of, you know, tossing in rockets here, building up a lot of percentage towards that rocket barrage. It'll be absolutely impactful if he can get that. And they trade back and forth here, so it's a 5v5 on the point, but EvilX going down means that Lucky Future loses a lot of utility, but it doesn't seem like they'll need it as the refrag. But once again, we see another trade, so it's 4v4 on the point. Shush is very low. LRC will be finished off there by Vettel, and Lucky Future will be the first ones to cap the point here, Kenobi.
And already what we talked about in the pregame coming to fruition, their DPS goes in, is hacked almost immediately by EvilX and gets bursted down completely, and now EvilX at 66% towards his ultimate, so Lucky Future looking very good. They also have the Coalescence that can deal with the Pharah in the air if needed.
Yeah, and here you see DPS just moving on to the point there, trying to get a little bit of, draw a little bit of resources towards him, protect his team in the backline. But Vettel with the first kill into LRC, in comes the barrage, but it is just absolutely and utterly eaten up there by Free. And, well, now out comes the EMP from EvilX here, trying to land another hack, but it's not looking too good here for TSL. Mira's going to go down, and Rachel trying desperately to escape this. It's kind of hell for him, honestly, and as Waffle pops off, gets 2 kills. Lucky Future will hold for the time being, 50% and counting on the point. Not a bad start.
Yeah, this is pretty good for Lucky Future. 666 Legend going to come back with some of their ultimates of their own, but they have switched LRC here onto the Sombra. I like this a little bit more because now you have something to combo Barrage with, and you don't have to be in the position that Rachel was prior, where he just gets in the face of Free, and Free eats all of the Barrage and it gets no value. So this is a nice switch. Hopefully they're able to farm combo before this map ends, because there's 1 or 2 fights left.
I don't really like that move there from Vettel. Gets really over-aggressive and dives into the enemy backline, and he's going to pay for it. Free trying to save face here with the bomb, but it's not going to find any kills, and EvilX will fall onto the point from Rachel as well. Beat coming in from Waffle here, and now at this point, Lucky Future are really just looking for the contest and trying to draw out as much percent as possible, because there's not a whole lot of chance they can win this fight unless none of them die and they're able to regroup. Vettel makes it back, but in comes the EMP from LRC, catching 4 members, and there's no ultimate. There is no beat from Waffle to counteract this. Since has the Coalescence, but it doesn't matter. He's going to pop it anyways, but TSL has already flipped the point. EvilX is able to get 1 kill into DPS, but the 2 kills from TSL onto Lucky Future are going to make it near impossible for them to cap this, so 10% for TSL.
Yeah, that might be one that Since is going to want to have back. Fortunately, though, for him, that it is Coalescence, and Coalescence charges rather fast in terms of ultimate charge with the rest of the game, so it's not terrible, especially because EvilX held on and was able to farm up towards his EMP. On the other side for 666 Legend, there's no support ultimates to deal with it, not even the Nano, so this EMP doesn't get the greatest value, actually gets the Pharmacy. Never mind, that's a pretty good value.
And 399 is, of course, the target of focus right off the bat. Removing that Mercy is so much utility lost. You don't have the Resurrection, but DPS comes in with a Minefield. And TSL, they're going to be able to stabilize off of the back of those 3 kills. That Minefield really putting in a lot of work.
Not only the Minefield, but the lack of follow-up there from that EMP really hindered them that time. I mean, it was a solo EMP, or duo EMP rather, onto the Pharmacy in the air. They got the Mercy, but the Pharah didn't go down. There wasn't the follow-up needed, and you really need to get both of those kills if you're going to commit 1 EMP to that combination. So now it's 666 Legend in the driver's seat with these ultimates. They have combo and 1 or 2 more fights for this team, and they can easily take this round.
Yeah. Vettel here, creeping around on the sidelines, and again, Rachel with the barrage. It's going to be really dangerous for Lucky Future moving in here, especially with that EMP. Mellow, though, will sweep up the kill there onto DPS. Once again, getting a little bit too over-aggressive. Barrage comes in, 2 members down right off the bat. And now it's just up to the rest of the nano-boosted rockets. Let's see what he can find. Vettel will be his next target. Rachel going off here on the Pharah with a 3k to maintain. And actually, TSL, they've now pulled ahead in ult charge, and with Free getting staggered like this, this is really a terrible position for Lucky Future to be in, and TSL can really take this one right here, right now, Kenobi.
Yeah, I mean, Vettel does have Primal Rage. He's still holding on to it. They are going to contest, so they have some sustain, but EvilX gets 1 tap as soon as he gets to the point.
Yeah, Lucky Future, they've managed to, you know, throw their bodies onto the point, but it doesn't seem like they're going to be able to win this fight. 399 actually goes Battle Mercy and kills Free there. Vettel able to get 1 kill onto Shush there, but again, it is not going to be enough in the long run as Rachel. Whoa, okay.
Whoa. It's too early for
My
that.
eyes hurt. Yeah,
Whew.
my eyes hurt after.
If you aren't woken up, you're woken up now. Certainly woke me up. Better than any cup of coffee I've ever had. Oh boy. Well, it looks like 666 Legend is going to be taking this first round, and off the back of some nice switches coming out from them, they switched LRC onto that Sombra. I really like that switch. You get to match the Sombra on the other side. You also have the ability to combo with that EMP barrage, which we saw a little bit of there. Some issues again with Lucky Future, maybe melding this team together. We talked about EvilX coming into this lineup, very new.
Yeah.
Last week it was Blackbean actually who was playing the Sombra and the Brigitte instead, who was I think a ringer for the team. EvilX comes in, gets the combo, gets the EMP rather onto the pharmacy combo, but no follow-up is there, and that was really what you needed to happen to win that fight. And from there, 666 Legend took hold of the game and were able to snowball off of that. Now, same composition, kind of coming out from 666 Legend. They're going to be running the 2-2-2. They're going to be 3-2-2-3. I guess that Brigitte counts as a support. I think so.
Numbers.
Yeah.
What do they mean?
The numbers, Mason. What do they mean?
The numbers, Mason. All right. Well, you see, Sins has swapped over onto this Zenyatta here. Waffle needs to be very careful. LRC going to get hacked right off the bat. Anti-nade. Oh, not anti-naded. Biotic grenaded, actually. So he's going to be able to be kept alive there by his team. Sins very low as well, and Rachel will be getting that first kill onto him, finding Sins all alone in the back line, all by himself. Poor Sins. But Vettel now jumping onto the point, trying to get something, trying to get some space, but DPS is going to completely and utterly deny that from him. Free on the outside is low, and really everybody on Lucky Future is just looking a little bit close to death here. It's not a good situation to be in, and they will lose this first fight. EvilX in a duel with LRC. LRC will win.
And a lot of that fight started from LRC on the Widowmaker there, putting a lot of pressure onto the front line of Lucky Future. You saw Vettel, as soon as he was diving in, he was already half health. He was getting in nice headshots. Already has the infrared sight available to them so that you know he's hitting these shots very well. Coming into this next fight, Barrage available to them. And they have the, sneaky. He knows where everyone is. I don't think he's going to pull it out just yet. He's worried probably still about Free being there.
Right, absolutely. Rachel sneaking around on the rooftops here, looking to drop down on them from above like a Australian drop bear. The fearsome creature, and Rachel once again with a double kill with a barrage. Pops Free right out of his mech as well. Will kill Mellow. But EvilX will finally put an end to this man's terrifying reign, but it still doesn't matter because he's going to be rezzed right back up. Ooh, boy.
And that's some actually the coordination that I would like to see a little bit more from 666 Legend just in general there. You saw DPS go in, hit a very huge pile driver onto the backline, and then the barrage came out. It's not just Rachel hitting a barrage into Free's face. He has some other people along with him so that he can take away a little of the pressure away from him. He gets the 2K, and they're able to win off of that fight. So really nice from them. And that's a nice snipe from LRC. Since going to go down, and this is going to have to be another wait for Lucky Future.
Yeah. EvilX here with the EMP sneaking around in the backline. He's got an opportunity to use it here, and actually Lucky Future choosing to push in. We're gonna see what they can do with this. EMP comes through. 3 members, Rachel most notably caught into it, but again, TSL does not care. You can EMP them all you want, but Mir will just be locking that left click. He's got a tape down here on this Brig, and well, it's working for him.
Ooh, the stagger too.
Yep, this is
stagger's gonna be brutal.
Yeah, this is almost an unwinnable situation here for Lucky Future with Free going down so late in the fight. They have to fight this at a disadvantage. And EvilX dies before he can get the beat. In comes the barrage, and Free is nowhere to be found to eat this one up. But finally, this is actually the only barrage from Rachel that has not gotten any kills. And funnily enough, it's when Free isn't there to matrix him at all. Vettel there with the first kill into LRC. Lucky Future, this might be the beginning to some of the momentum that they need to be able to take this point back. But again, it's still such a large task ahead of them. And they're not quite out of the woods yet. Mir will be their next kill. Anti-nade onto 2 of the members of Lucky Future, and 399 will be able to get that res back up. But Free getting revenge onto Rachel from all the times he's barraged them. And actually, Lucky Future, they've managed to turn this one back around, Kenobi. Some way, somehow. Vettel just really forcing his way onto the point and getting that first kill opened things up massively for them.
And not only that, but the barrage from Rachel, not really the best. You mentioned it, that there wasn't a diva there to eat any of it, so you probably would have thought it would have gotten some value, but the members of Lucky Future were able to push around, move around those pillars, and it didn't get the value that it needed, because if he gets maybe a 2K or a 3K off of that, he probably is able to win that fight for 666 Legend. And now for Lucky Future, they're going to have to hold for a pretty long time. Nano available here for Shush on this Ana. Let's see where he's going to put it off. Maybe put it on the Brigitte or the Hamster, or maybe just put it on Rachel and try and one-shot that backline.
Oh, right, but EvilX here again with the Pulse Bomb. And those supports, they've got to be careful, right? Shush in the backline. You see Mir playing near Shush, identifies correctly that the pulse bomb is available and wants to protect his support from that, and DPS moves in with a pile driver. Here comes another Nano Barrage, and, well, you don't need the barrage if everyone's already dead. So Shush and Mir will be able to get those 99% on the point now. 399 with yet another Battle Mercy kill, and that'll wrap things up on Busan. A nice little bow for TSL as they take it 2-0. Early lead in the series for them. How about that, Kenobi?
It looks really convincing, actually, from 666 Legend. They look a lot more coordinated than they did last week or the week before that. Again, they had a very rough schedule at the start of the season. They were playing against T1W.GZA, and then they were playing against BLG, two of the best teams in the region. Now you're coming in against Lucky Future, and you're looking a lot better than you did before.
Exactly. All right, Naori, let's bring you in as well. Let's hear your thoughts on that first match of Busan.
Well, that was an interesting one. So for the first one, it was interesting. Lucky Future started out really strong, able to sustain through a lot of the damage that was coming through from 666 Legend. And it really was a testament to their Moira play, just keeping the healing up consistently, and of course having Bethel out there doing a lot of damage, making sure to keep the enemy team split. But as time kind of went on, they were kind of forced to swap around a bit, and eventually, obviously, we saw TSL just kind of started to eke a little bit more there. They made some swap ups there. The swap up onto the Sombra was an excellent decision, I believe. I know I mentioned that the sightlines were so good for the Widowmaker, but the hack potential just opened up so much for them.
Right.
And that, added in with the barrages, there was just so much damage, and there was nothing that Lucky Future could do. I found TSL's comp to be quite interesting, and actually it surprised me that they were able to do so well with it. Sombra, Farah, Brig, Anna, Hammond, and Mercy, and that's not something that you typically see. It's very different. It's got those three supports, but it's not the three supports you usually see, and it creates a very interesting interplay. So it was kind of fun to see how those heroes meshed with one another. And as we moved on to the second map there, they kept the Widowmaker from LRC, and the crossfire that they created between LRC and Rachel was absolutely fantastic. Had them on two opposite sides of the map, and there was just no way. It was only when Lucky Future swapped that Sombra onto a Tracer that they were finally able to dive onto point. But after that, I mean, ult advantage for TSL. There was nothing that Lucky Future could do to hold back.
I mean, on that third map, or second map rather, I mean, 399 was basically playing Mercy as a DPS. Every time Valkyrie was playing the Battle Mercy, getting a lot of those picks. MIR was the one showing up in the kill feed, but it was 399 doing a lot of the damage, Valkyrie before the EMP happened, and then using that gun that does a surprising amount of damage. We don't see it too often, but Battle Mercies are pretty incredible to see at most times. So it's really interesting that TSL looks this good because, again, they played against the two best teams in their group right now. Didn't look that great. Won that one map, but now against Lucky Future coming out and looking a lot more coordinated, which is something that we talked about earlier with them.
Yeah.
I think the ability to kind of use that Valkyrie preemptively, it's kind of like if you're hiding as a Lucio or a Zenyatta waiting for the EMP, but in this case, you kind of use it preemptively because you can't get hacked out of Valkyrie. So that's actually a very smart move. You can't use your Guardian Angel, but you can still fly around and you can still pistol whip people. And obviously
you sure can. 399. We saw it. We saw some pistol
amount of damage.
Well, exactly. I mean, you don't have the ammo constraint anymore. You've got a increased rate of fire. It's absolutely deadly. So I like that preemptive thinking. I think we might see a little bit more of that.
Yeah. 399 coming in here. I mean, he lays down the Hippocratic Oath, right? He doesn't care. Do no harm. He's never even heard of that, but so yeah, interesting start to the series there. It's seeing that 2-0 from TSL after Lucky Future had such a strong start too. So as we move on in the series, what does really Lucky Future need to do? What are kind of the weak spots that TSL was taking advantage of?
I think it's really about being aware of the crossfire and where all the damage is coming from. It felt to me like they were a little bit disjointed and they weren't too sure where they kind of needed to focus their attention, and that's a little bit of an issue. And it doesn't help. And this is from both teams. Having your tanks kind of playing in the back line when both teams have a Sombra. We saw that a couple times where both tanks got caught out in the back line. So that's something that I kind of want both of these teams to be looking at. Just keep your front line safe. Just make sure your front line's not doing anything stupid. Just pull them back, rein them in, and focus on that ulti combo.
Naori, we're in Chinese Contenders. It's not as simple as just rein back your main tank, okay? The shift button exists here pretty heftily in Chinese Contenders. So I get what you're saying. It's gonna be a little bit more difficult than that, I think.
You know, I like to think that when you look down at any of the main tank's keyboards, it's just there is no W. There's just shift right there. They have multiple shift keys, you know, at once. They can really.
It's just a keyboard of shift keys, just only shift keys. Everything is replaced by a shift key.
Yeah.
I don't know if shift helps you too much on Hammond. You just turn into a ball and sit there. You kind of need the W there.
Yeah, you're right. All right.
That's a good point.
When you're right, you're right. But going back to Lucky Future, I think another thing that I'd like to see from them a little bit more is their coordination. We talked about it a little bit, that this is a very new team, a lot of new pieces coming to this team playing first time. EvilX, we saw hit that EMP onto the pharmacy combo. Didn't get that much value, as we're going to be seeing some highlights here of Rachel on this Pharah. Played a really good Pharah in this stagger, or not stagger, this was before the stagger, but Rachel had some really good moments. That first barrage wasn't my favorite, but this one a lot better now that the EMP was there.
Look at this. Ooh, drops in from above. They never saw it coming. Yes, indeed.
This one and the one on the second map where he dropped down behind them and we had the Wrecking Ball pile drive that kind of created that space. Dirty.
Yeah. Oh, he's right here. That's right.
Here we go.
Look at this. Beautiful. Alley-oop. That is alley-oop for the slam dunk right there.
Kobe.
That was a big slam dunk.
Alrighty. Well, we're going to throw it over to break. Second map coming up after this. Don't go anywhere. Different flavor of map, I guess you could call it here. It's going to be the good old 2CP. Love it or hate it, we got to play it or watch it.
I mean, one has snow, the other one doesn't have snow. They get a different flavor.
Yeah.
Which one do you think is more vanilla? This one
well, I mean, I would assume the snow would be more vanilla because, you know,
good answer.
Like
good answer.
Like ice cream, I guess, but not really because it just tastes like water.
Unflavored ice cream is what we
Unflavored ice cream. There you go. that's
so
what I'm going to start calling my ice cubes. Unflavored ice cream.
You know what? I actually like that idea, and it seems that here, I'm going to guess that this team in green that we're seeing with the Outlays, this is going to be 666 Legend with the Hammond. They're going to be seeing, I was right, let's go. We're going to be seeing this composition. The Soldier actually is an interesting choice of the triple DPS. Usually you see this more on the defensive side, but for Lucky Future, they're going to be playing more of that 3-3. Something that we talked about a little bit earlier is one of their best compositions. EvilX actually going to be on the Brigitte, so moving away a little bit from that mantra of just being a Sombra-only player.
DPS dealing a lot of damage. He swings in, takes a lot himself, but he's going to be able to tank it, of course, because this is Hammond we're talking about here. Mir locking the Soldier, looking to be on the flank here, locking those legs, and Rachel slept up here, chilling out. Oh, very low. He's able to escape just barely with his life here, but TSL, they're really just playing the poke game right now, trying to build up ultimates, because, I mean, there's not a whole lot Lucky Future could really do against, you know, the DPS. They can't really, you know, get that long-range damage onto Rachel, and LRC is just kind of farming them for EMP. Vettel will dive on Samir here and get that first kill, and onto Shush as well, so Lucky Future, they will manage to push back TSL, but in this next fight, so you see the barrage coming out already, Waffle removed, and well, Lucky Future, this might come back to bite them here, as TSL are just going to push right back in with the spawn advantage that they have. Perhaps using this EMP, this nano boost, whatever ultimates they have. Minefield in the backline. DPS goes down though to Mellow. He gets the nano boost, and at high energy, this is a deadly, deadly, deadly Zarya.
And that was really good, actually. Yeah, that was really good, actually, from Free there on that D.Va. He was able to snipe out 399 by himself and get rid of the healing for that Pharah. So that way, Rachel had to play a little bit more safe in the backline. Couldn't just go onto anyone he wanted. And Free has done a really good job so far. He is going to get hacked out, unfortunately, and EMP'd as well. A lot of ultimates committed to this. Yeah,
Mello's the only one that doesn't get EMP'd, and he's the one with the Graviton Surge here, though. Vettel will fall. Free is out of the mech for the time being, but in comes the Graviton Surge from Mello, and once again, this guy is so high charged, the damage comes through, but everyone's able to survive because of 399's well-timed Valkyrie. Now the barrage locking everybody up on the side room there, and that's going to spell the end for Lucky Future for the time being. As you move on to the second point, you're seeing the members of TSL pushing up.
Yeah, and they're not gonna have that much snowball potential since they did use a lot of their ultimates into that next fight. They're gonna have rally, but not really to be running onto this second point. Perhaps they might switch it out to more of a 3-3 composition. I would like to actually see them continue to play this comp. It looks like they will be, because this is more fits their strengths instead of going to that 3-3 and matching Lucky Future, who is definitely a better 3-3 team than the side of 666 Legend.
Yeah. Vettel here diving up top. He's got the Primal Rage, so he can afford to be a bit aggressive, and Free once again picks 399 off. He hear Kenobi say it. I mean, 399 can't really afford to get be getting picked like this, because, I mean, you're seeing the impact it has. He's respawning and returning, but again, TSL is just getting bottled up here and completely and utterly bodied. It's quite
some really good, yeah, and it's some really good coordination actually. Again, from Free and from Vettel, they're diving onto 399 if 399 ever is caught a little bit out of position, and even if it doesn't work too often, you're forcing pressure onto the Mercy. You have to make her get out of there, and then Rachel isn't able to just sit up on the high ground and in the air and just free farm on Pharah like he was so used to in that first map. So Lucky Future adapting to this composition very well. A lot of ultimates available in this next fight, so I would say look out for 666 Legend here. LRC probably going to hold this EMP until the barrage is ready.
Minefield onto the point, DPS making a lot of space, EMP through, nice sound barrier to counteract it from Waffle, avoiding that for the most part, and you're going to see Rachel here with the barrage, but the nano boost comes through as well. Vettel's able to get 1 kill out of it, but he gets stunned up by the Brigitte, and now he has to pop his own Primal Rage. 399 flying out of the frying pan into the fire of Free there, and well, this is great play from Lucky Future so far. They've been so good at taking Free out of these fights. That is what we like to call a pro gamer move, as Free will remove Rachel from the fight as well. TSL will end up losing this fight.
Yeah, Vettel is going to go down, so maybe the 666 Legend is going to want to attack here. It is a 5v5 but they do have the respawn advantage for Lucky Future, so they're just going to play it a little bit slower than normal here. Probably going to try and farm again towards those ultimates that are going to be coming online here. For Mellow, the Graviton is available. Actually, DPS is switching over towards that Orisa, so an interesting choice. Maybe going to play a little bit slower and just on that approach. There is no Hog to pair with it, so interesting that DPS is moving over to this instead of playing that Wrecking Ball or that Winston.
Seems they're taking control of the high ground for the time being. We're going to see what TSL does with this. And he throws a shield on the corner and kind of spam his way onto the point here, trying to get an early pick there. Rachel diving in, getting the poke. Again, he has the barrage. He's ready and waiting. DPS might be going for the Orisa strat here of setting up in the corner, but now he's got to deal with his own team as the Graviton Surge comes in. Rachel slept out of the barrage, and once again, TSL will end up losing this fight. Lucky Future, they seem to have learned from their mistakes on Control, and they are just relentless on Volskaya so far.
And Rachel for sure is going to want that one back, especially because LRC is at that EMP. So if you had just lost that fight and not used anything, you would have had combo for this next fight. And EMP Barrage is a round winning at this point combo if it's able to get a lot of kills. So definitely going to be wanting that one back for Rachel. But for Lucky Future, I like how they played aggressive. They saw that there was an Orisa, so they said, okay, an Orisa's right here. We're just going to Graviton the backline. They're all going to be dead. There's going to be no shielding or sustain available for you. So I like this aggressive play coming from Lucky Future, understanding what 666 Legend is running.
Exactly. Lucky Future doing a really good job. Again, LRC here sneaking around with the EMP available, waiting for an opportunity to use it. Pops it, 4 members. Caught Waffle again! So clutch with these soundbars so far. He's 2 for 2. The 2-time champion. Free gonna hear re-wrecking in the back line. Well, Rachel comes in with a barrage, but again,
another just
same exact story. Slept once more. He's able to get 1 kill onto Vettel, but once again, like we've talked about Kenobi, the respawn advantage is just too strong, and TSL will not be able to take advantage of that 1 kill. Rachel does get resurrected back into this fight, but in the long run, Lucky Future will continue to hold.
And this is, again, some of the old TSL coming out, the uncoordinated TSL. You have Barrage and EMP, and you're using them disjointedly. There's the grab onto MIR. He's going to get bursted down very quick.
Yep. Dead. Waffle getting the finishing blow there with the boot. Mellow slept, gets right back up again. His reign of terror continues. Lucky Future, they are holding really strong, and they've got ultimates here, too. They're coming online with ultimates. And Freeze. He is...
The amount of pressure Free is putting onto this Mercy and forcing him to come up by himself is actually extraordinary. Did say that Sin's got the kill in the kill feed, but that's all Free just going up there with that Diva and absolutely sniping 399 out of the air. 1 minute left. TSL has the combo again, the EMP Pharah Barrage. I hope they use it this time because, again, like I talked about, it is a fight-winning and almost round-winning at this point combo if you're going to be using it correctly. With the Supercharger as well, that's so much damage you're going to be putting down.
Yeah, and again, Waffle here, watching him, he's countered the last few EMPs, but he does not have a sound barrier this time. So TSL, they need to strike now while the iron is hot. You're going to see them do just that. EMP in, Waffle caught this time, barrage through, but Sins gets the kill in the back line. And Mellow here again looking for the kill into 399, but has to turn his attention. Oh, did you see that? That was an absolutely beautiful reaction. 399 goes for the res, gets anti-nated, and everyone on Lucky Future instantly starts shooting him. Mellow here with the desperation grab. However, TSL does manage to get a few kills, but 399 not there, of course, to provide that support. It's really just
DPS.
DPS trying to do his best and stay alive, but what can you do on the Orisa alone? Not a whole lot. Rachel returning to the fight here along with Mir, swapping over here onto the Hammond, trying to get a little bit of that contest in. 399 as well over onto the Lucio, but again, this just doesn't matter. Such strong point presence here from Lucky Future, and this is just the stalwart bastion of a defense that they have put up. Doesn't seem like they will be able to get even one singular tick. Yeah, you're seeing the EMP come through.
You did get rid of shielding. It's just not gonna work. It's not gonna be enough. You did. So they did something good with their EMP this time. But again, a lot of the issues with TSL, the coordination coming out from their ultimates. You have your win condition at this point is the EMP barrage combo, and they're just not using them together. An interesting pick in the Orisa coming out from DPS there as well.
Exactly. Really interesting. Interesting picks that we've seen so far. I mean, honestly,
China's known for it too.
Exactly.
They'll play Reaper at points where it doesn't make sense. But here, I think again, what I want to talk about with 666 Legend is they played the first point pretty well. They played it a little bit slow with the Sombra, was able to farm towards that EMP. But on that second point, time and time again, Free has been living inside the heads of the pharmacy rent-free. Every time 399 is somewhat out of position, Free is just there, snipes him out of the air, incredibly well scouted out from him, and has the follow-up from his team as well. So it looks like for Lucky Future, the communication is starting to gel a little bit more. They have this combination between Vettel and Free, who can just go up into the high ground, snipe out that Far Mercy, who is at this point one of the win conditions for 666 Legend.
Yeah. I mean, Rachel and 399, they're definitely adding Free to the list of players they want to work out with this summer. Because, I mean, they've just been getting shut down. He's definitely booming them right now because, I mean, 399 is getting so much less value out of everything, really. He can't get reses. I mean, you saw that one time he tried to go for the res was just
melted.
Absolutely and utterly eaten alive by TSL.
Yeah, and it's different from the first round too, because the first round 399 was able to pop out the Valkyrie and just use the pistol mercy the entire time. And now you can't be doing that if you got to be keeping your Pharah alive and if you're dying all the time. Looks like they actually on the defense here for 666 Legend, they're going to be bringing the Widowmaker, so you have some pretty good sight lines at this point. And you can create a crossfire like Nori was mentioning, where you can create that crossfire between the Widowmaker and the Pharah as well. A lot of damage potential available. For Lucky Future, the 3-3 coming out, their standard composition here that we saw them run.
The big thing for TSL here is they've drawn out already a lot of resources, but of course, Lucky Future can just kind of wait this one out for the time being there. But LRC has some great sightlines here with the Widow. He sees exactly where they're coming from. Nice big brain play there from Vettel, walking backwards so he can't get headshot. And LRC cannot find a single shot because, of course, they're diving right up onto that high ground. Rachel, though, and LRC will get that first kill. He'll just shoot Vettel in the back. It's a little bit dishonorable, I guess you could say, but, you know, all's fair in war. LRC here. Oh, never mind. I was going to say great job of staying alive at 4 HP there, but then Evil X is just going to knock him out into the water. And actually, Evil X and the rest of the Lucky Future, they're going to kind of capitalize off of that. Rachel here being the next one to fall, and Vettel diving up onto the high ground as DPS drops down on the Orisa. And Lucky Future have turned this fight into a win right off the bat, too. Really only took them a minute and almost 20 seconds there. So they're moving into point B with a great time bank to only get 1 tick, Kenobi. That's huge.
Yeah, this is very, very winnable for the side of Lucky Future here. LRC has made the desperate swap over to Sombra, going to try and farm with that EMP as quick as possible, get some hacks, but Vettel is going to take a deep dive into the backline here.
Free, though, anti-nated popped right out of the mech. Mello needs to drop back as well. Bomb in the backline. You're going to see Mello farm that one for the energy, which of course is going to help with the Graviton Surge charge. You see it here. He's going to toss it into the backline there, but is there the damage to follow up on it? There is 2 kills they get out of it, but Rachel, avoiding it, is able to get 3, counteracting that Graviton Surge without having to use any ultimates. So great play from TSL, managing to stabilize, but still 5 minutes, almost a whole 6 minutes that they have to continue to defend this.
Yeah, they're going to have to make a lot of great plays in these next 5 minutes to try and even get a draw. They're not even fighting for a win here, fighting for a draw of all things. So even if you are able to hold for this 5 minutes and 30 seconds that they have, it's only going to be a draw, and it's better than a 1-1. It is going to be still a 1-0, but you're definitely going to be wanting having that win instead. There's Lucky Future here coming into this next fight. Vettel is going to get hacked, but he is going to be okay, maybe?
Yep, he's all right. he gets an armor pack from good old EvilX. A pat on the back will keep him nice and healthy there. An armor pack a day keeps the, I guess, Heurix away in this case, or the Ferris. That's probably a better analogy. LRC here with the EMP. Nice hack on a Mellow on the side. Is there follow-up? Not really. Bomb over the top, and LRC is caught in it. He dies with the EMP. Now is the time to strike if you are Lucky Future, and they're going to be doing just that. Nice kill onto 399. Vettel trying to chase the... He's going to go for a Miro play there and kill the Pharah as well, but won't be able to find it as he gets concussive blasted away, but still finding a lot of value with that Primal Rage. LRC here returning, gets the EMP onto Free and Vettel. Vettel will be able to stay alive, but Free is popped out of the mech, so possibly a chance for TSL to come back into this fight. But again, 399 there with the res, and here you go. TSL are able to stabilize it. They just win these long fights because of that respawn advantage. It's so strong, Kenobi.
Yeah, the respawn advantage is really strong, and Lucky Future kind of going for some hero plays there. Vettel, you saw, goes very deep and very aggressive for that pharmacy. Does end up getting 399, but commits the Primal Rage as well to try and get Rachel out of the air. It doesn't end up working as Rachel is able to concussive blast away from him, so the Primal Rage not getting the greatest value at all, especially because once he went after Shush has a really nice sleep dart onto him and negates a lot of that damage that was going to be happening.
Rachel with the barrage here hanging around over the top, looking for an opportunity. He might actually be able to get a concussive blast kill here onto somebody. See, he goes for it there. It was a good effort, but and you know, Lucky Future, they realize what he's going for and they drop back. Now you're gonna see them engage here with that sound barrier DPS. The supercharger just goes down as soon as it's put up, and again another sleep onto Rachel. He falls right into the waiting arms of the rest of Lucky Future, but they aren't able to sweep up the kill onto him here. Mayara going for the bomb over the top. Everyone's ducking around the corner. Sins is found with it, however. Mellow trying to get that one kill, but he can't quite find it. Now you're seeing Mellow here with that Graviton Surge, tossing it into the corner. There it is, eaten up. Beautiful play by MIR, but again, the 3 kills already coming through for them mean that even though it's eaten up, Lucky Future, they're going to still be able to win this. Nobody can touch it. That'll be that. Lucky Future taking back this series. It's going to be 1-1 so far. Really great play from Lucky Future on both their defense and the attack, holding back TSL. Really taking advantage of a 399 there. I mean, they played him like a fiddle.
They sure did, and I think that's really the thing that won them this fight. Also, some disjointed play coming out from 666 Legend really helped Lucky Future as well.
All right, Naori, come on in here. Let's talk about TSL. They looked so good in that first map of Busan, but now all of a sudden they seem to be falling apart.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like Lucky Future finally started to coordinate that dive a little better. We saw it on that first map of Busan on downtown where they were running that 3-2-1 with the Winston and the Moira, and it worked out for them for so long, and then it kind of started to fall apart. Now they're using it again on Volskaya, and it's starting to look so much better and so much cleaner. And you guys were highlighting this, and I've got to also highlight it. Lucky Future's front line. Vettel and Free have been absolutely beastly. Getting so much support from their backline as well, just creating such an issue for poor Rachel in the sky there. Rachel and 399 just unable to survive the onslaught of damage. And of course, Vettel, even though he's like very often in the backline, he's still able to get the support he needs to survive and managing to get, you know, at least 2 picks while back there. So the strength of their front line is absolutely insane.
Exactly.
I also just wanted to highlight Waffle, again, somebody else you highlighted that did so well to consistently have that beat ready for the EMP. And that's so important for a Lucio player, just to make sure that your team can survive without their abilities and can get through all the damage that's just being plowed into them. I was really excited to see DPS swap over onto that Orisa, but I was kind of sad that they didn't pair it with the Hog, because we kind of highlighted at the beginning how strong that is as a front line, and I feel like they might have been able to go toe-to-toe with Vettel and Free on that, particularly with the Roadhog. If he does a little bit of peeling, protecting the back line, that could have been such a strong matchup. And then we swapped sides, and then I got to give it to Rachel. So insanely clutch, surviving time after time, attack after attack, up in that sky, dodging damage, keeping the points contested so that his team can get back. It was only when Vettel finally managed to get him out of the sky early on that Lucky Future were able to, you know, come through and take the win there. So Rachel really doing so much for the team just up in the sky.
I think the thing with Rachel that, you know, there's a lot of, it was kind of coin flippy a little bit with his barrages, though. That was the one thing that I think I would probably fix a little bit with his play there. We saw a lot of times, like the last barrage that he hit in the game, it was just a really high barrage. You're not going to get a lot of value from it, and it's just a target there that you can be slept if you're sitting up there. And as Rien mentioned it, fall into the waiting arms of Lucky Future there. So Rachel and the coordination from TSL, just a little bit not my favorite, because you had EMP combo a lot with barrage. You didn't use it the best way possible, not getting as much value. And Rachel, for what it's worth, had a lot of really good barrages and really nice plays and nice flanking plays with this concussive blast. So I think there is that level of carry potential coming out from Rachel. I just want to see it be a little bit more consistent, because throughout 666 Legends history, their DPS have always been inconsistent, and we've seen glimpses of the consistency coming out from Rachel, and unfortunately sometimes just showing the inconsistencies as well.
Right.
Another issue that I've seen between these two teams every now and then has been kind of misreading the fight and using ults unnecessarily. Like a fight's already lost or a fight's already won, and then they'll just blow an extra ult or two just for good measure. Gotta assert that dominance. Sometimes you can kind of hold back on the dominance assertion just to make sure that you're gonna win the next fight.
All right. Let's take a look at some highlights here.
Look at Free here. Look at Free just absolutely snipe 399 out of the air by himself right there.
That is beautiful. Rachel, again, great clutch plays from Rachel throughout this map, but it just, in the long run, it's just not enough. And there's the sleep onto him. So tragic. You hate to see it. LRC, that was a great dodge. It was a great juke. I'll hand that one to him, but
I can't dodge that.
Vettel here. I like how gung ho he was. He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get Rachel as well," but
I'm gonna pull off the
Miro. Jump that far.
I'm gonna pull it off.
Would have been iconic if he was able to, but unfortunately cannot. Well, so far we've got 1-1 in this series, and we will be back after the break. Hey, hope you guys enjoyed that break. Maybe getting a little bit of breakfast, getting a little bit of food here as you watch Contenders China with us. But
did you even have breakfast, Eren?
No, I didn't. As a matter of fact, over here on the West Coast, I'm not allowed such luxuries at 5 a.m. in the morning. But you know what luxuries I am allowed? To be able to cast over King's Row. That's going to be our next map. So far, it's tied up in the series. TSL won Busan. Then Lucky Future struck back on Volskaya. So it's going to be, will TSL manage to bounce back? Or will Lucky Future continue the momentum they have started to build up from Volskaya? And they did look really good on Volskaya, Kenobi.
Yeah, they did, and something I'm interested to see is what these teams are going to bring out on this map specifically. King's Row has always had this mantra of being a map where you can see almost anything. You can see the 3-3, you can see the 3-2-1, you can see dive, you can see bunker on defense, and sometimes on offense if you're feeling spicy, but 2-2-2 as well, and it looks like we're actually going to be seeing this. I'm assuming the team in green is going to be TSL, the fact that they're running out Hammond like this. And on the defense, we're going to be seeing Lucky Future, if I'm not mistaken, who's going to be running that classic 3-3. Actually 3-2-1, so they're going to be putting EvilX back onto his comfort hero on the Sombra here. On defense, is kind of a risky play because you don't have a lot of avenues to farm that EMP unless you play it really, really slow. But there's going to be so much damage and crossfire coming out from this triple DPS coming out from 666 Legends.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're seeing it there. Look how low Vettel is, and Rachel will be able to kill him there. I mean, you got Mir shooting at him from one side. You got DPS diving you, and Rachel shooting you as well. Since is actually able to win the Ana 1v1 against Shush there. We'll be able to kill him Mir right after that. They're kind of trading back and forth here. LRC hits a nice shot onto Waffle, though, and well, there is 1-6 for TSL so far. So this fight is it's a little bit wacky. It's a little bit wild, kind of all over the place, but it's really going to decide who right here with that barrage. Since is bottled up and killed. There's really nowhere for him to go. 399 trying to get the res there. Free so low. Miro finally finishing off, returning from spawn there, and you're seeing Vettel return on the Winston, but LRC kind of on a rampage right now, this guy, as he headshots Waffle coming back to the point, and the rest of Lucky Future's like, okay, let's get out of here. I don't want to get headshot either.
Yeah,
oh boy.
Rachel there just being like, justice reigns from sideways. That's where it's going to be raining from today as he gets that barrage. And it looks very scrappy from both of those teams there. It was always going to favor 666 Legends because of the fact that they had such a close respawn advantage. And respawns for this point on defense from Lucky Future very far away. LRC, the grapple, not going to save him there. Probably going to get rezzed up though by 399.
Yeah, he really has no choice but to just walk away from Vettel, and Vettel is in range of the Tesla cannon. And well, when you got the save movement speed, there's not a whole lot you can do in that situation. No, Lucky Future holding.
Yep. It looks like actually they're going to be switching over to the Sombra here. Anti comes out. DPS gets melted down immediately, so going to have to wait a little bit for 666 Legend here to come back into this next fight. Actually, Rachel is still trying to do some damage with that Pharah, not going to get too much done, and a bit of a risky position here for 666 Legend. They're down in ultimate economy because EvilX is going to have this EMP available, and there it is.
Speaking of the devil, EMP comes through, and Lucky Future, capitalizing off of it, managed to sweep up 2 kills, make it 3. 399. EvilX got to be very happy with himself after that one.
Vettel's in really deep here, and
he is
gonna get taxied. Ooh, he gets so low. That was on the knife's edge right there from Vettel.
Giving me anxiety.
He had the Primal Rage available, so he probably would have, but he had he was down to 58 health, so that's a lot of really good patience from him not to just blow the Primal Rage. He's gonna blow it now because he almost got killed by Rachel, but forces out the Valkyrie at the same time.
He does indeed. We're going to see how TSL is going to play around this. It seems that their play is let's wait things out. Wait out that rally there from Mellow. DPS jumping up onto the top, onto the high ground, giving 399 another target to fly to. Barrage again, super high up in the air. He is able to get the kill into free, but he is anti-nated. Shoots out EvilX right after that. 1 kill comes through, and LRC is in a weird position here as he finds Lucky Future. I've just been kind of zoned into him. And they should be able to sweep up this kill into Vettel. Yes, they will. Since very low as well. Finished off by 399. He's returning here to his true form.
The Battle Mercy.
Battle Mercy. Yeah.
So for Lucky Future, I mean, one of the issues with this composition sometimes is that you don't really have a D.Va, and Rachel's barrages are basically going to be free anytime you want them now because Free isn't on that D.Va. And as we saw in the last map specifically, Free was doing such a good job of negating the pharmacy combo that was coming out from the side of 666 Legend. This is going to be the last fight here for this point. Ooh, that's big EMP. Yeah.
EMP comes through, but once again does not catch the target that you need, and it is Waffle. He gets slapped though, but he bubbled again right off the bat. Vettel, hey, I see him with that Primal Rage. He's got to be very, very tempted, but no, it just dives into it and dives into the rocket from Rachel. So Vettel will end up going down there, but meanwhile on the front line, Lucky Future have managed to win that war, so they're going to be able to hold on once again for the time being. No EMP now for TSL, but they do still have this barrage.
Yeah, again, no combo coming out from the EMP barrage, something that I talked about a little bit earlier. It's one of those combinations that I think they should be using a little bit more often because it is fight winning if used correctly.
Oh, man, and the EMP from Lucky Future. EvilX finding a good one there, and he's going to hack a Rachel once again. They do manage to hold up on this high ground, and 2 kills come through for them. Now in comes the Nano Boost as well. Are we going to see the barrage come in? Yes, we will. Vettel bottled up and killed right off the bats, and, well, Free, you're next. TSL wins it.
And that was actually a really nice tech play coming out from Rachel there. He was EMP'd, but he was able to rocket jump his way onto the high ground, so that way there wasn't a lot of follow-up, and he wasn't just on the ground, just there as a potato for everyone to dive onto him. So it forced out EvilX to go onto the high ground with his translocator. It forced out Vettel to come up there as well. So really nice play from Rachel and from 399, avoiding a lot of what the EMP could have done to them.
Yeah, well, Rachel, you've had your fun. Into Brick Jail you go. Too many good barrages, too many clutch plays. Lock them up. Get him in the jail. Nano, out a grenade rather, comes through. Waffle with a boop actually onto Rachel somehow. Shush gets knocked in as well, or jumped upon rather. 399 will be the one that actually goes into the pit there. So TSL swapping over onto the 3-2-1 Goats. And Lucky Future again maintaining the same composition, just classic 3-3.
Yeah, that was actually really nice from Waffle going around and hitting that kind of ready Lucio style off the wall, and then booping Rachel into the pit so they didn't have that Brigitte. And then after there, Lucky Future was able to snowball the point. LRC has this EMP available. He's looking for it.
Yeah, Waffle again holding up on the high ground here, looking for an opportunity. I thought he had beat, but he does not. 68% to it, but his team backs up accordingly, and they are able to mitigate most of that EMP. However, Waffle puts himself in a bad position, unfortunately, and will fall. So TSL just really playing that well off the back of that EMP. And already LRC's up to 50, make it 60, almost 70% to another one. So crazy ult building in that one fight.
Yeah, only a 2-man EMP, but that's all you really needed there. You got rid of Since and you got rid of Vettel. Vettel wasn't able to hit that bubble and then shield his team from the damage. And here, DPS has the Shatter available to him.
Yeah, and again, as soon as they pop that Winston shield, the Shatter is going to be absolutely free. Speaking of free knockdown as well as EvilX, but they can't get finished off because of the rally. It's just too strong. The healing that comes through as a result of it. MIR here going to be getting the nano boost, trying to make use of his high energy, but he's not going to be able to. Counter Graviton Surge comes in for Mellow here, and a massive anti-nade comes in from Shush. But what, everyone just dies like that from Mellow and Vettel, the dynamic duo themselves. Spider grenades don't mean squat.
Yeah, and for 666 Legend, we're nearing last fight territory. Only 30 seconds left, and with the point the card is at right now, it is probably going to be their last fight. LRC, the only one with an ultimate available, and we talked about it earlier. Waffle has been so good at dodging these EMPs before with the sound barrier. Let's see if he can do it again.
Oh, nope. Yeah, MIR targets him, and that is a very wise target here. EMP comes through, almost cancels that bomb from free there, and it is going to find 399. TSL do manage to get 3 kills right off the back of it, though. Beat comes through here from Waffle a bit late, just trying to get onto the point and contest for as long as he can, but he's instantly killed by MIR. Sins throws his body on the point as well, but it's going to be TSL. We'll finally take the point with, you know, decent-ish amount of time left, but still took him quite a long time to do so.
Yeah, and there at the end, we talked about Waffle a little bit, and there he gets caught out of position, plays very aggressive, and gets hacked and gets bursted down almost immediately. And at that point, once you're TSL in that situation, you're like, all right, sound barrier's down. We know he has it because he was hacked, so this is going to be a free EMP. We have so much damage. They tried to put the Diva Bomb out a little bit early to negate some of the fallout that would come up, but it just wasn't enough. So Waffle getting caught out a little bit over aggressive there. Would have liked to have seen him play a little bit more towards the back, wait for that EMP to come out, and then use that sound barrier. Because if that had happened, you had enough ultimates if you were the side of Lucky Future to probably sustain and not let them take that 3rd point. So going from that to getting 3rd point captured, not the best play, but Lucky Future still for TSL rather not that large of a time bank, so it works out a little bit in Lucky Future's favor.
Right. Could have had the full hold, but or not the full hold rather, but I guess a stop to the payload if you know, in some parallel universe out there. But this is the one we're in currently.
It was a hold, not a full hold. You got the hold.
Yeah,
and you got the win condition, which is basically all you wanted at that point. Because now, if Lucky Future goes and they cap this point, we're going to be going towards, you know, another round, and then they have to play that, and then anything can happen in that 2nd round of escort or of hybrid like this.
Exactly, those extra rounds, and now we're going to see the swap-ups come through. Lucky Future on their attack now. May, interestingly enough, I don't expect them to stay on this, but if they do, be quite a bit of spice here.
No, there's no way. Okay, there's no way.
Oh, yeah. I was like,
whew, that would have been...
I see him walk out on that. I was about to be one very confused caster. But,
that would have been ultimate spice right there. If Battle just comes in as May, gets 3k headshots, and then they win this point. That would have been pretty incredible here. As it looks like they're actually going to be switching up to a full 3-3 Lucky Future here, so not opting for the somber 3-2-1. And I actually like that EvilX is kind of widening his hero pool a little bit. We've known him as mostly a somber only player throughout his entirety of Chinese Contenders, now switching over to the Brigitte. Also had the Tracer on at a couple of maps ago, so I like that he's adding these new heroes to his pool, gives him some flexibility.
Now you're seeing once again the classic free and Vettel move, diving up onto that far Mercy. 399 again, so very low, barely managing to escape. DPS puts his shield back up, but he is so low himself and gets melted down by Mellow on the point. So they just win again that frontline war because there's not a whole lot of support that DPS is getting. Barrage in, it's massive from Rachel, turning the fight around possibly with 3 kills. This is a huge boon to TSL right now. Massive play from Rachel as he kills Since as well. He's looking for the tanks. 399 bottled up. Vettel turning this one around. That nano boost, the last of Since's Hamon apparently, is going to allow Vettel to come back through and win this fight. So Lucky Future, you know, it was looking dire for a moment there. Rachel with a massive play, but in the long fight, once again, Lucky Future wins because of those spawn advantage, or the respawn advantage rather.
Yeah, it almost looked like the perfect play there from Rachel. It looks like he was going to carry his team by himself. Unfortunately, the follow-up from the rest of his team not there after the 3K barrage, and Lucky Future is able to capitalize and win this first point. Now they're going to be pushing it towards that second point. 666 Legend going to be switching LRC back onto the Sombra here. DPS going to be going over to the Winston. I like that a lot more than the Orisa, especially if we're going to these points. Orisa, like we saw in Volskaya, didn't get that too much value, so now he's on the Winston. He's going to be able to pressure out a little bit some of the backliners, pressure out Sins, pressure out Waffles, things like that.
Right, EvilX here leading the charge here with this rally. Misses the shield bash, gets kind of knocked out of the way, but Vettel is anti-nated. Needs to be a bit careful with his health. He does have the Primal Rage. Mellow getting that first kill, and Vettel diving onto it as well. And well, Lucky Future wins yet another fight.
Yeah, and the best part about that, too, is that they won the fight, but it's 666 Legend that actually uses the ultimates there. You saw Sush hit the nano, and Lucky Future uses absolutely nothing besides the rally. So this is really good for them coming into this next fight with their ultimate economy. The combo is online, though, for 666 Legend, and I keep saying it. I'd like to see them use it a little bit more here. LRC and Rachel tag team those ultimates and see what you can do.
Right. All right, well, the point is approaching this third section. Graviton Surge in up top, actually, of all places. And Rachel will be killed off of it. Nice anti-nade once again. Lucky Future used the beat there. I'm not sure if they need it because Mello just goes on a rampage and gets 4. But it would have been nice to have this ultimate here for this last fight as Rachel uses the barrage and spawn to swap off over onto the brig. TSL swapping up their composition here.
Yeah, probably one that he is going to want back, but I actually really like that placement of the Graviton there from Mello. He was able to get the Pharah out of the sky, something you don't really expect so much from Gravitons. As Mir is going to get
flying Zarya.
Yeah, he's going to go down, and this is looking very convincing right now for the side of Lucky Future. 4 minutes and 30 seconds. This is probably one of the fastest King's Rows that we've seen in Chinese Contenders.
Indeed. They have just been rolling through so far that second phase and now this third phase, but they're going to back up, give a little bit of space to TSL. They're respecting that Reinhardt, but they charge him, they boop him away from his team, but the bubbles will be able to cover all wounds for the time being. Vettel, meanwhile, very low, has to get an armor pack to stay alive. He kills Shush, DPS extremely low, and he's going to tase him down. Vettel, some way, somehow, this man is unkillable, apparently. Great support from his team, just keeping him alive and healthy through all of that, and Lucky Future, whew. They were very speedy. They were very speedy. They do indeed. I mean, that's got to be... They're breaking some records here. I don't, probably not, but yeah.
In Chinese Contenders, definitely. It's probably one of the fastest we've seen.
Probably one of the fastest. All right, Naori, let's come on in. Let's talk about that very speedy attack from Lucky Future there.
Speedy is like the word. The composition that they've been running is working so well for them. We spoke a little bit about their oppressive backline on Volskaya, and it's really starting to show itself even more so here, particularly once they added EvilX onto the Brigitte. It's like having the Brigitte there with that tank line is just making it 10 times more oppressive. They are doing so much work to consistently be pushing back TSL over and over again. I also found that TSL's comp was just not ideal against the 3-2-1 that was coming up against them. It felt like they were really battling to deal with it. They had that high damage composition, but they were getting so shut down by Vettel's Winston and how much he was being, or how much resources were being put into him. So I really liked them to see them focus on that. It's a frontline battle here. I think that's probably the biggest thing I want to highlight for this matchup. Just seeing how these two front lines are fighting against each other and how Vettel and Free are consistently coming out on top.
Alrighty. Well, thank you very much now as we move back in game here. TSL playing on their attack once more, and they don't have a whole lot of time as opposed to the 5 minutes that Lucky Future have, and there's that first kill for Lucky Future. TSL were just waiting this one out. A lot of their members low. They'll be able to give their some support charge, or ultimate charge rather.
Yeah, this is going to be a bit rough here for the side of Lucky, or for the side of TSL rather. Only 30 seconds. They put LRC on the Sombra here. Going to try and farm that EMP as quick as possible. Only 20 seconds left though, and Vettel makes a deep dive into the back line. Just goes down. That's not good for the side of TSL.
No, it isn't. 15 seconds left, and it doesn't seem like this is a winnable situation here for Lucky Future. Or not for Lucky Future, rather for TSL. This is absolutely a winnable situation here for Lucky Future. They're in one of the best positions you can possibly be in as 399 tries to sneak his way onto the point and just gets utterly bodied. EMP comes through. It's a fast ultimate charge there from LRC, but there's no one to follow up on it because they're either dead or returning from spawn. Charge in, and no, he's not quite fast enough. So, well, that was
quick. We're back.
That was quick indeed. We are back. And,
one of the things that actually Naori touched upon that I think is really interesting is the idea of EvilX playing the Brigitte. I talked about it a little bit before, how he's mostly a legacy Sombra player, but adding this Brigitte offers them a lot more resources to put into Vettel and Free. You know, Vettel rather is able to take these deep dives because armor pack is always going to him most of the time. They have the Ana as well to help keep him alive through all of that. So I think this Brigitte switch for the side of Lucky Future gives them this really nice look and works really well with their composition. And it's really nice to see a player like EvilX, who's always had this mantra of just being a Sombra one-trick, basically, flex over towards that Brigitte and give another look to his team, because his Sombra still does look pretty good, but his Brigitte is not too shabby either.
Exactly. And, you know, sometimes you do just want to play that classic 3-3 over the 3-2-1. And having that Brigitte, I mean, you've talked about it, adds so much value. You can get those stuns, those knockbacks. I mean, you saw EvilX Red and Volskaya killing LRC with the whip shot, and he's been finding a lot of value here as well on the King's Row so far. So, I mean, 4 minutes and 54 seconds to get one tick on the point is absolutely and utterly winnable. I would be, frankly, utterly shocked if Lucky Future does not win this. And you see him. All right, they're okay.
6 DPS.
I see it.
Are they actually going to come out on this?
I see it. Okay, Lucky Future.
Waffle on the Mercy. Waffle on the quintuple DPS, the stuff of legend. They do have 4 minutes and 40 seconds, so they could just swap off of this if they decide to at one point. But this is a lot of damage going to be coming out on this composition for the side of Lucky Future.
This is the Infinity Gauntlet composition here, right? The 5 DPS, and I guess Waffle is Thanos. Kind of interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll call it that. Vettel hacked right off the bat, but I mean, Lucky Future here, right? They know they're in an absolutely winnable situation, and
they sure do.
They do indeed. And once again, we're gonna see a very speedy attack on King's Row. Lucky Future, that has just been the name of the game here. I mean, you think these guys are an 8-6 drifting down, not gonna pass, but no, they are just over here on King's Row as they win yet another map. 2-1 in the series so far.
Right there. Like, there's nothing else to say. That was a little bit of a flex there. Pulling out the quintuple DPS coming out from Lucky Future.
That is what we in the business like to call a lot of twang. Lucky Future coming out with a lot of that, indeed. But, Nari, come back in here. That was interesting what we just saw, wasn't it?
Can I break it down for you? I want to talk a little bit more about what happened on King's Row, because I didn't get to go too much in detail when we did have that short little break there. So I got a little bit more time on my back. On that first defense, Rachel was just not being counted. We had free on Zarya instead of Diva, so there was no Diva. And Rachel just had free reign once again. The amount of spam damage that was coming through, and that's kind of ultimately what managed to push them all the way to third point, was just how consistently they were able to get picks off with Rachel. If Rachel's not being counted, you got problems. And then what I really found interesting was when they got to third point, and then TSL swapped over onto the 3-2-1 with the Sombra, and Lucky Future swapped onto a standard 3-3. And I found that interesting mostly because Sombra is still so powerful at the moment, and we kind of saw that from TSL. The problem was that LRC was consistently being shut down. And whether it was a case of not necessarily being shut down, but just anybody that LRC hacked would get the full support of the rest of the team. So it didn't matter who the hack prioritization was on, the rest of the team was there to back them up, and the Sombra pick essentially became useless. And that was kind of why they did manage to push it through into the end, but that was why they had such an itty-bitty time bank. Because once they made those swap-ups, not only were they behind on the ult economy because they needed to make those swaps, and it was quite a big swap, as opposed to, you know, moving on to the 3-3, they just needed to swap EvilX onto the Brigitte. But to swap from a triple DPS composition onto a 3-2-1, you're swapping so many people. And so they lost out on a lot of ult economy. It burnt off a lot of time for them, and that was really what cost them in the end. And finally, they were able to push through, but it took so much out of them. And then obviously we swapped over onto the retries, the retakes, the reattempts, and 5 DPS. That I'm pretty sure it was Mayhem that did that in Owl that one time, and it was magical. And we saw it here as well. And it's not something you typically think is going to beat a 3-3 or a 3-2-1. You're like, no, they don't have any tanks. Surely this can't work. And just the sheer amount of spam damage from every single direction, it was easy clap.
All right, let's take a look at the highlights here. Rachel with his barrage here over the top, over onto free there, but yeah, you know, great stuff from him and Vettel. Vettel was absolutely stellar on King's Row here, comboing so well with Mellow and Free. I mean, this tank, I guess trio in this case, has been so dominant. And this was Rachel trying to turn this one around, but
really good grab here from Mellow as well, getting the right under the bridge, understanding the positioning of the Pharah and knowing that they can get the grab off. I really like that play.
Utter domination.
It's been a kind of a story of the front lines that, like Naori was talking about earlier. It seems that when they have this this tank trio where they have Mellow on the Zarya, I like Free better on the Diva because Naori mentioned it. You can pressure out the Pharah a lot more, especially with how good doing it, because if Free's not on the Diva, Vettel still plays really aggressive into the Pharah. We even saw him sometimes jump at the Pharah and jump at the Mercy and just get absolutely one-clipped, so it doesn't even matter. So I want to have them have that partnership available if they're going to try and deal with that Pharah.
All right, well, map 4 coming up after this break. We're going to see who's going to win this series, or will we get a map 5? Okay, we are here for our last, or what could be
potentially last. Woo! Yeah, I don't want to. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I got a wood desk. Don't know if you could hear that or not, but I
heard it. We heard it. I think
we didn't jinx it. Lucky Future, as you see there, 2-1 so far over TSL 666 Legend. So either Lucky Future wins it all right here, right now, or TSL manages to come back, and then we're gonna go to a control map. Believe it is. I think it's Ilios in this group, but could be Lijiang, could be Oasis. Who knows?
We'll see. Be but I think for this team, I think for 666 Legend actually on this map, we talked about it a little bit earlier with Naori's that Rialto was the one map that 666 Legend won against BLG, and they played the bunker composition. And if my eyes don't deceive me, that is a Narissa Hog that we're gonna be seeing.
I see it. In the chat.
I believe 666 Legend, I would assume, because the other team is 3-3, and that's Lucky Future. So yep, they're gonna be playing the Narissa Hog combination, a composition that they're pretty well versed at. This team 666 Legend is their best comp, I would say. Objectively in this meta, so I would really like to see this, do a lot of work.
Oh, Vettel in a bad position, and Rachel will take advantage of that. Killing Vettel is a huge blow to Lucky Future there, because there's no shield to protect Evil X here as he's yoinked right into the team, but Free strikes back onto Shush there as Rachel will kill Sins there. So there's no on either side here, and Mir trying his best. He's trying to fight off the onslaught, but it's not enough. They've surrounded him. Oh boy. Well, Lucky Future trying to come back from this fight, and they will be able to do that. They stall for just long enough to allow Vettel to return to the fight. This is what's going to allow them to stabilize in this long run. Just great play from Lucky Future. I mean, you thought that fight was going to go to TSL, but no.
Yeah, I can't stress how good that peel was from Lucky Future after Evil X was slept there. The bubble went onto him right away after he was hooked, so a lot of the damage mitigated from that hog while he was still slept. And then Free peeled for him so nasty, even though he was antied, using that defense matrix to negate a lot of the damage coming into him. And then after the anti wore off, they were able to farm up. They were able to push onto MIR and just farm up their ultimates very quickly as 399 again goes down to Free. You saw him go up there, snipe him out of the air again like he's been doing this entire series. So.
Oh, but the barrage from the back, and they get the halt as well, and they will be able to sweep up 2 kills off of it, but TSL still possibly in a losing position without their Pharah, but we will see DPS comes in with a kill into Free, and with Vettel down as well, TSL will secure this fight.
Yeah, Free just not ready for that barrage and where it was going to be coming from. Couldn't turn quick enough, so the damage comes through from Rachel, and even though he sacrifices his life, they're able to get the win off of those picks. But there, the Nano is being committed to this EMP as well. A lot of ultimates coming into this last fight.
Seems like everything but the kitchen sink. Lucky Future trying to stabilize right before the point. Waffle comes in with the beat. You're seeing Mellow here with the Graviton Surge, tossing it. They're going for the Grab Bomb combo, but everyone's behind the fountain, so they will not be killed. They will be protected by that water feature. MIR here with the whole hog. He's got to be careful, though. His own health is looking a bit low there, and Rachel will be able to kill Evil X, but you're seeing swaps come in now. Going over onto the Moira, looking for a little bit more sustain here. And once again, you're talking about a Free sniping 399 out of the air, and then you see the snowball from there, right? Waffle and Mellow killing DPS and LRC, and there's not a whole lot of healing because Shush is returning from the fight. 399 is dead. Barrage in over the top here, but he's only able to get 1 kill onto Sins before Evil X whip shots him out. So Free remeching now. And once again, he is ready to strike down 399 from the sky. MIR so very low, trying desperately to stay alive by any means necessary, and he does so. Even manages to sneak a kill into Vettel. Now you're seeing another whole hog, and this is a very extended fight, Kenobi, that we're seeing out of these teams. At what point do you just call it? But It seems that at no point are either of these teams willing to give an inch at all. Shush on this Moira, building up that coalesces extremely quickly, using it there right off the bat. EMP through. EvilX caught into, but Waffle with the B to again dodging it and finding that value with it. MIR here with the first kill. EvilX down once again by his hands. Bomb over the top, 3-9, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. He manages barely to get just out of range. Graviton Surge in from Mellow. Now 2 members caught into it. It will finally be killed, but LRC strikes back onto Sincere, so this fight still might not be over, Kenobi. You got a bit of a duel there in that side room with the Sombras, and LRC, actually no, with the Sombra and the Lucio, and LRC wins that one. Vettel trying to kill this Pharmacy duo and hunt them down, but he will not be able to find any kills here, and you're going to see the Hammond Mines come through as well. Barrage available for Rachel once more. He's going to toss it over the top here. EvilX caught into it. He's dead. Somehow, TSL finally managed to push the card to the second phase. I thought that fight would never end, Kenobi.
That was basically a 3-minute fight, a lot happening in it, but if you're lucky Future, you'll definitely take that because it was looking very dire once you lost that first fight, but you come back and you're able to contest that card for basically 3 minutes and push it into overtime. So much time taken off the clock, and now 666 Legend only has 2 minutes to push this towards that second point. So if you're lucky Future, this is an absolute win for you, especially if you're able to stop the snowball here coming from 666 Legend with this EMP that they have available.
Yeah, that fight was crazy, wacky, kooky, however you want to say it.
Zany.
It was zany indeed. That's a great word. You're seeing Nano Boosted Winston here and chasing down Shush on the Ana, and he will be laid to rest by Vettel's hands. But they struggle. It seems like whenever one Ana dies, the one on the other team dies too. If a Sins dies, Shush dies the second after. If Shush dies, Sins dies the second after. They just hate the Anas. Anas must die, apparently. Either of these teams. Free once again snipes 3-9 out of the air with the help of Vettel. You saw it firsthand this time. And, well, Lucky Future pushing TSL all the way back to their spawn. Minute and 18 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, unfortunately, there for 666 Legend, not getting the value out of EMP that they needed. Rally's going to be coming out for them, so a lot of sustain coming next fight. MR does have the bomb available, and Rachel has, again, this barrage ready for him.
Free
Let's
hack.
see what he can do. Free was hacked, you're right, but is going to be able to survive a little bit longer. Defense Matrix back up now.
He was hacked in the boosters, so he's able to get back to his team in time, and Rachel's not in a position to concussive blast in and take advantage of it, but now might be his opportunity too, as there is no mech. But 399 sniped with the bomb. Rachel's still able to get 2 kills, but Mellow will kill him, and Vettel in the backline with the Primal Rage bats up Shush. And MIR trying to run away here. Mellow, though, melting him down from above. Mirror really has nowhere to run. Tries to boost her out, but goes for the self-destruct play.
Yeah, that's one he's definitely going to want to have back too.
Yeah, especially 25 seconds.
Yeah, and you have EMP as well, so you could have EMP bomb comboed and maybe make something happen out of there. No, it's going to be still on the D.Va, so maybe a little bit of a miscommunication there, but LRC does have this EMP available and ready for him. Not a lot of ultimates from Lucky Future, just the Graviton, no sound barrier available.
Nice, good hack into Waffle there, even though he doesn't have the sound barrier. Great, identification by LRC. He knows that Waffle's been shutting him down a lot, so getting that hack ensures that no matter what, he will not be able to do anything against it, and Vettel will be the first kill for TSL here. Overtime on the card, they cannot leave, and they managed to hold on to this nano boost. So they can toss on to DPS here in this next fight, and they should be able to just swing away, swing to the left, swing to the right, hit a home run, hopefully, and manage to take this third point and get some more time, get a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, and it looks like Lucky Future is going to get one last contest here. Graviton is available, no defensive. 6 Legend, besides the Nano.
Great dodge here from Shos as the opportunity to toss that bio grenade in. Mellow holding out the Graviton Surge, using it there, waiting. And they get zoned off the cart. That's what happens sometimes, right? When you're all grouped together like that in the GOATS composition, you end up getting grabbed off carts. And Shush was playing it well. He was in a great position, but he's not in a position to touch the cart because he's not with his team. He's playing back. LRC was in the stealth on the side looking for a hack, and well, they're gonna get grabbed off card in that situation. But still, pretty good progress considering how long they were stalled. Getting it almost a third point, still, it's a winnable position.
Yeah, and actually in that last fight, I really liked the kind of aggressive play that Lucky Future took there. They nanoed Vettel so that Vettel was going to go up into the enemy team, go into 666 Legend's face, force them off the cart because Nano Ryan is something you don't want to be standing really close to. They force them off the cart, and then they grab off the cart knowing this is overtime. So if they get off the cart at all, we are going to be able to let that wick burn down, get grabbed off the cart, 666 Legend isn't ready for it. There is an LRC who could go and just contest the payload. So really nice aggressive play coming out from Lucky Future, taking the initiative and taking the bull by their horns and saying, we're going to win this way right now with the ultimate economy advantage that we have. Really good understanding of what they had to work with in that last fight.
Right. Lucky Future playing that really well. TSL, still a lot of progress for them, though. So we're going to see as we swap it up here, and we're going to put Lucky Future on the attack. How do they approach, this Dorado attack? Because you saw TSL there try with that Orisa Hog, and it worked, but it worked eventually.
Yeah,
and,
it was after 3 long minutes of that fight, it ended up working.
So Lucky Future, they're not going to try that. They're just going classic
3-3.
Winston goes here, the floats.
Yeah, Lucky Future going to be on the Winston Goats. 666 Legend going to be bringing out the 3-2-1 with the Reinhardt, actually. Vettel's actually going to be forced over to the Reinhardt himself. I actually like this a little bit better. You don't get a lot of high ground control with Reinhardt because he doesn't have the mobility that Winston does, the vertical mobility, but you have free available to you. And actually, this rotation is really smart from them.
Yeah, Lucky Future just diving head first into TSL's backline, and they're going to pay for it. DPS, as Vettel's walking up to him, we'll just bat him out. But, decent cart progress still from Lucky Future in this first fight. They've gotten it, good way through Dorado, but this is where you get stopped most of the time is at this choke. So how do they break through this choke in the next few fights?
Yeah, it's going to be a bit difficult for them, especially that LRC now is like 90% towards this EMP is going to have it for the next fight. So, and Lucky Future, no defensive ult, really. Evil X, the closest one. So it's going to be very difficult for them to break this chokehold, this hold that 666 Legend has on this chokehold.
TSL just tossing his translocator in, so he has an escape route here. EMP in, 5 members caught, big anti-nade in, and that'll wrap up this fight.
Yeah, this fight's done and dusted. The EMP there, the the anti as well that you talked about, very clean as you mentioned. Coordination coming out from 666 Legend, something we've been talking about and wanting them to do more of. Free's going to get staggered there a little bit. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock. At this point in the last round, we were already in that last fight, and it was still going. So Lucky Future here going to be coming back, have the rally available to them, but 666 Legend again, now that they use that EMP, we're able to farm up a lot of their ultimates as well, and in Ghost v Ghost, ultimate's very important.
Shatter up for both teams here, DPS and Vettel both. So it's going to be, the mind game between the Reinhardts here. Yes, looking for his opportunity to take advantage of Vettel and vice versa. Indeed, Shatter in, great stun, and DPS will just body the enemy team with that. And, well, Lucky Future, they're not going to win this fight for the time being.
And this is, again, Lucky Future, or rather 666 Legend, winning off of 1 or 2 ultimates here. There, they use the rally and the shatter. They win that fight just like that, and they're continuing to continuously rotate their ultimate economy and have a really big advantage.
We might be going to a map 5 here if TSL keeps playing like they're playing. I mean, I'm looking at MIR here. He's got the Graviton Surge available. 399's coming up on the beat. LRC's close to the EMP. This is a great situation if I'm TSL, and they got the Nano Boost now online as well. Like, Future's coming onto some ults in their own, but TSL with the advantage for the time being.
Yeah, you're going to have to really look at Waffle here. He's going to get that sound barrier pretty soon, and he needs to dodge this EMP that's going to be coming out from LRC. That's probably the most important. We talked about it earlier, how he's doing a good job of it so far, as it looks like Lucky Future's going to take this aggressive fight.
Waffle's not caught into it. He's trying to build up to the beat. He's so very close, but Vettel's just going to swing away. And 2 kills will be found as a result of it, so Lucky Future will end up winning this fight, even though they are EMP'd. Vettel just able to swing away and mitigate that damage, Ryan's still got his hammer when he's hacked.
Yeah, I really like, actually, the grab coming out from Mellow there. Once the EMP comes out, he's able to dodge it, and then he's able to hit a very nice Graviton Surge, which negates a lot of the follow-up that was coming from 666 Legend's size. Can't really follow up if you're caught in the Graviton like that. And then Vettel gets the Nano, as you mentioned, swings into the Graviton, and that's a ton of damage that's going to be done, and nothing really to mitigate it because 399 didn't have that loose or something.
Now as we move into the second point here, Lucky Future with, again, 3 of their ultimates, they didn't have to use really any to win that last fight, so they are now in a great position, whereas TSL, all of a sudden, things aren't looking too good. The DPS drops down from the high ground here. You're seeing the nano-boosted Reinhardt of DPS. Shatter comes through. Free with the bomb, but he doesn't get the boosters in, so it is unfortunately a very standstill bomb. Vettel, though, still swinging away. Still a madman out here, killing DPS. Killed 399 right before that, and he gets the charge as well into Rachel. Lucky Future might actually win this one right here. Look how far back they're pushing TSL. They have turned what was a really bad situation all of a sudden into a dominant situation. So this is just incredible play from Lucky Future.
DPS is going to have the Shatter, though, and LRC is working.
It's got to be big.
So the Shatter EMP combo could be online soon for this team.
Oh.
Let's see if they can hit it on the defense.
Vettel up top, and, well, he's talking to DPS here. He goes, you know, oh, you're approaching me. And DPS, of course, can't beat the crap out of him without getting closer. So we're going to see if he can land this Shatter or if he cannot. Mellow, again, still holding up on this high ground. LRC with this EMP in the back line, trying to be very sneaky. If he hits a big one here, hack onto the Rien there. Vettel trying to kill him here. Gets an armor pack. He's still very low. LRC won't be able to get the kill. He needs to translocate out now. But is he in a position to get the EMP? No, he isn't. All of a sudden, they turn it around. Vettel swings it once again into the Graviton Surge. And because LRC couldn't get that kill onto Vettel, this is going to be the win here for Lucky Future, Kenobi.
And that's going to be it. That is going to be Lucky Future taking the series. And really nice play at the end there from Future. As soon as they saw the hack come onto the Reinhardt, they peeled and played very aggressive there. They hit the Graviton, was able to do a ton of damage because they noticed that the Sombra wasn't there. So it was just like a 5v6 right there. So really nice play coming out from Lucky Future, who's going to take the series.
Brilliant play. Oh man, Nari, let's have you come in here and, well, series just wrapped up there. Lucky Future, after losing that first map on Busan, strike back with a vengeance and win the next 3 in a row. So they definitely held the momentum.
LRC, man, what were you doing?
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah. I understand the point of that, but there was such good peel from the Lucio managing to protect Reinhardt. Oh, dude, it was so. And then he translocated back to his team so that he could get that EMP off, but it was too late. And by the time he got there were already 4 people dead. Man, and that could have been such a strong hold. And that's kind of been an issue where the EMPs, previously it was just a case of not hitting Waffle, and then he didn't hit Mellow, and then there was a massive Graviton Surge, and then the EMP was just too late, and half of his team was already dead. Like, the timing, EMP is an insanely powerful ultimate, but only if you get it off at the right time. If you use it incorrectly, it's pretty worthless. And unfortunately, he just wasn't getting the value that he needed out of those EMPs.
Right.
What I really enjoyed, you guys... go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's almost like it's your win condition, right? It's basically like if you're not hitting these, getting the value that you need with a composition like a 3-2-1 where you're able to just continuously rotate your ultimate economy. If you're hitting the EMPs well enough, like, you know, LGE Huya, for instance, does very well with Hacker on the Sombra. So I agree that there is maybe a little bit of miscommunication and disconnect between the EMP timings and the communication for the entirety of Tristan's life.
It's so important. And I was so excited to see TSL coming through on the Orisa Hog combination there, but
yes,
damn,
that fight was 4 minutes.
It went on for years, and then they swapped off. And the thing is, Lucky Future's tank line, that whole front line is just so good at negating just everything.
Absolutely.
I mean, even with the Roadhog combination there, and there was some fat hooks from Mir as well. Like, you can't even deny that. And despite that, Lucky Future, and I really got to give it to their supports, being able to consistently be there, keeping everyone alive, protecting them. Vettel. Dude.
Yeah. Vettel needs all the help he can get. He's going in deep. He's going hard for those kills.
Vettel is,
We spoke a little bit about that shift key. I think his shift key is his best friend. And the thing is, he's getting value out of it. And it's because the support line is doing so much to keep him alive and allowing him to be so incredibly aggressive. And one of the things that I kind of wanted to touch on was TSL came out with the Reinhardt and the Diva in a 3-2-1. And everybody was kind of confused there, like, oh, and it is. It's not something that we see too often. But I can kind of see the logic behind it. If you're using Diva as mitigation, you kind of want to deal with the Ana anti-nades, maybe try and deal with it in that way, possibly even to try and eat a Graviton, which is precisely what, you know, caused them to be forced off of point and lose that point there. So I can kind of see the logic behind it, but I don't think it was the best swap off, particularly because at that point, again, you're losing a lot of ult economy. They only had about 50 seconds left. And when they got to that point, it was massively into overtime. It was just bad timing.
Truly just
another thing.
Unfortunate tale.
Yeah. I think another thing with 666 Legend that I want to talk about is Rachel. Rachel has had a really pretty good series so far, and it seems like whenever Rachel's popping off, the rest of the team seems to be playing a lot better, which obviously equates, right? If the one DPS is playing really good, obviously the rest of the team is going to follow up on those kills. But unfortunately, there's still some inconsistencies when it comes to their DPS lineup. We talked about LRC already. Rachel had some really questionable barrages at times. He doesn't have his Mercy with him a lot, mostly because it's free, just sniping and pressuring 399 out. And if you're barraging without a Mercy, you A, don't have the healing, and B, you're kind of just sitting there in the air. Very easy to just snipe out with the Zarya or snipe out with an Ana and get a sleep dart like that. So I think they need a little bit more understanding of how to when is the good time to barrage. Not when we lost a fight, but probably when I have my Mercy available to me and we have a hack on the Diva or something like that. But again, all the credit probably goes to Free, who played probably one of the best Diva games I've seen so far in terms of just getting rid of and pressuring the pharmacy.
Oh yeah.
What I also, one of my favorite moments, we were actually spectating Rachel at the time, and a Diva Bomb came through from Free, and he used the concussive blast to get himself over the building, but 399 wasn't able to follow him, and he kind of died in the crossfire there. So, but unfortunate. Got to make sure your Mercy's around.
Yeah, got to take the Mercy with you. You can't just go by yourself. It's far Mercy, not far. Gotta make sure. You gotta make sure the Mercy's with you.
And then he barraged, and of course the Mercy wasn't there, and it was all over.
And then poor TSL.
It's not even. I mean, TSL they still played pretty well. Like Rachel, definitely a big bright spot, was finding so much value on that Pharah, but again, I think in this case it was just that the members of Lucky Future were playing so well and countering Rachel and 399 respectively. So it's just. Once again, we already talked about it so much at this point, and that should show you how impactful it is.
The tank line
and Vettel are finding
good. It's very good.
Tank's very
it's
good.
The biggest storyline for them. It's just man.
Tank good.
And support good. Support tank line good.
Yeah.
DPS played like Brigand Zarya, so
yeah.
DPS good, I guess, too as well.
Yeah. Speaking of Evil X again on Lucky Future, there, previously Sombra coming in here with some different shades, I guess you could call them. Over on the Tracer for a brief stint on Busan, then on Brig for most of the match as well, and he was doing pretty good on the Brig, I must say.
Yeah, the best part is that we didn't really notice him too often, which is kind of good because in China, sometimes the Brigitte players have had moments where they're very aggressive. They play it more like a frontline DPS and take it on very long flanks, which usually isn't how you play Brigitte. She has a pretty good character, but not that good. So the fact that Eva Lex, we weren't talking about him too much as making a lot of mistakes is something that I'm very happy to see, especially because it's a player that we haven't seen play Brigitte too often.
Yeah.
All right, any final thoughts here, Naori or Kenobi?
Nah, I think we basically covered our bases.
All right, well,
tank
line's good.
Yep,
That's
tank
it.
Line good. There you go.
Tank line good.
All right,
Lucky Future may be good.
Yeah, but their tank line very good. All right, well, as we said there, Lucky Future wins the series 3-1 over 666 Legend. That'll call it for this first game here, and Kenobi and I are going to be heading over to LemonKiwi and Heurix for the next 2 games. Speaking of, Naori will stay here, but next game going to be Phantom Wizards versus Team CC. We will see you guys there. Don't go anywhere.